If you've ever watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2, who did you remember? Which character stood out to you? We can bet you didn't say Mantis. The main film of our discussion, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, is the sequel to the Marvel film Guardians of the Galaxy, which first premiered in 2014. It is a science fiction or action movie that follows the journey of Peter Quill, or Star-Lord, as he and his alien counterparts are hired to defend batteries of an alien race. One of the characters, Rocket, steals the batteries, and in the process, Peter Quill's parentage is revealed.
When did you meet my mother?
His father, Ego, manipulates Quill and his friends to take over the universe in a battle to destroy Ego and his planet. Mantis, Ego's alien slave, is an empath who has the ability to sense and influence her subjects' emotions when she touches them. She aids the Guardians and warns them against Ego's master plan of domination. Saeed's interpretation of Orientalism focuses on the contrast of the East's image, idea, personality, and experience compared to the West. Mantis is the main character we will be discussing, and we will be using her as an example as to how the presence of Orientalism in contemporary media has led to an overall negative stereotype of Asians.
So you're a pet?
I suppose.
People usually want cute pets. Why would you go want such a hideous one?
I am hideous?
You are horrifying to look at, yes.
As well as how Mantis compares to other Asian superheroes, the legacy of colonialism is evident in modern media. To begin, let's focus in on Mantis's characterization throughout the movie. Although Mantis is an alien, she is portrayed by an Asian actress, Palm Clementieff, who is given some rather exaggerated and physical characteristics. Her huge bug-like eyes and two antennae are just two of the characteristics that make Mantis appear more foreign and off-putting than the other Guardians. Mantis's personality is another topic of discussion. She is given a more soft-spoken and submissive personality and talking voice and portrayed as being very naive and even infantile. These characteristics are those that can be paired with a stereotypical view of Asian women as a whole. Also, Mantis doesn't quite fit in with the other Guardians. She is a newcomer to the already established group, and this can be seen through the subtleties of the cinematography. In most scenes that Mantis is in, she is either in the background of the action or cropped to some extent. While she's in the background of scenes, Mantis is not in focus and typically behind other, more important characters. She is also rarely taking part in the main action of the scene. In some of the clips, a large part of her body and face are even cropped out of the frame to some extent, removing her emotions and reactions from the audience. This characterization of Mantis differs largely from the original comic version of Mantis. For one, the comic version of Mantis is a Vietnamese character, whereas the film depicts Mantis with a Korean actress. This discrepancy can be seen as a mindset of all Asians are the same, and the lack of knowledge of differences in Asian cultures. The film version also presents a nerfed version of Mantis, stripping her of some of her powers that were originally written into her character in the comics. The differences between the two are so much so that the creator of Mantis doesn't even see the comic version of Mantis and the Marvel film version of Mantis as the same character.
Who are you people? What is this place?
Gamora, let her go!
The bodies in the caverns. Who are they?
You are scared.
What did she do to me?
Let's discuss the scene that just played. In this scene, Mantis's loss of powers is evident through her submission to Gamora. She is forced to use her powers, which Gamora finds strange and unnatural, similar to the West's view of the Orient. There are other scenes that mirror this view of Mantis as well. Mantis isn't the only Asian superhero that Marvel has created. Two other Asian characters are Yukio from Deadpool 2 and Wong from Doctor Strange. Although both characters are examples of Asian actors and actresses, both have their shortcomings in representing Asian stereotypes. Yukio is a minor character within Deadpool 2, but even so is represented with a bubblegum pop persona and only contributes with a single one-liner the entire film.
Bye, Ray.
Bye, Yukio.
Wong, on the other hand, represents the stoic, serious Asian figure who doesn't understand humor, isn't in the loop, and is a mostly silent character.
Or Aristotle, Drake, Bono, Eminem.
You're gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it.
Mantis landing in an Asian squat as opposed to a superhero landing is just one example of an Asian stereotype that is represented through Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy. We can also look at the whitewashing of characters that were intended to be Asian. One example is Mandarin's character in Iron Man 3. In the comics, he is depicted as a powerful villain. However, in the film, he is a white man who has a facade, fakes an accent, and has no real power whatsoever. Another character is the Ancient One in Doctor Strange. In the comics, he is an Asian man. However, in the film, the character is portrayed by a white woman. He or she is the most powerful character, and the portrayal by a white woman seems off. Finally, the way in which the Guardians are completely submerged in a foreign land draws parallel to another novel, Heart of Darkness. Similar to how Kurtz is enveloped and changed by Africa, the Guardians visit a new and exotic planet that changes their goals and perspectives.
He's coming.
Didn't you say you could make him sleep?
When he wants, he's too powerful. I can't.
You don't have to believe in yourself, because I believe in you. I never thought she'd be able to do it, with as weak and skinny as she appears to be.
I don't know how long I can hold him.
Despite the lack of screen time, some might argue that when Mantis fully utilizes her own powers, she is finally seen as a valuable character. After being encouraged by Drax to overcome her fears of Ego and her self-doubts, Mantis barely manages to make Ego sleep. Even then, she is almost immediately knocked unconscious and ultimately has little influence over the outcome of the film. The effects of modern Orientalism on the representations of Asians is not just a Marvel issue. This is an issue that extends to general media. Show after show, film after film, Asian culture experiences the lasting effects of colonialism through misrepresentations and stereotypes. Asian representation in media has increased within recent years with greater emphasis put on the correctness and authenticity of Asian culture and portrayals. However, the stereotypes persevere. This raises a few questions. Why are these films so popular? How long will the effects of colonialism continue?